The Meriwether County Board of Commissioners, April 10th, 2024, 9 a.m. meeting. As you sign up your phone or any electronic devices you may have, so it doesn't interrupt throughout the meeting. And we'll start off with the invocation followed by the pledge of allegiance. Mr. Blue.
Yes, sir. All right. Stand and bow your head, please. Father, we come together before you today to discuss and determine the business of the county. We ask that you give wisdom to our actions, judiciousness to our thoughts, and as always, look out for the people that we are here to serve. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First thing we have here to adopt the agenda. Has everybody had a chance to look over it and have a motion to adopt the agenda? Second? Second, all in favor? Any presentations? John, finance report.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, in front of you had the bank balances as of 4:30 yesterday afternoon. General funds at 3.8 million. All the other funds look pretty good, are holding steady. We did get a confirmation on what our tipping fees and host fees will be. That's listed. We'll receive that check probably middle of the month. All depends on the mail. The lost SPLOS and T-SPLOS distributions, they stayed about the same as last month, so they're on an upward trend. So we're looking good there. On your second page of SPLOS and T-SPLOS commitments, after all the SPLOS commitments, we have almost $117,000 we can spend as of yesterday, and almost 1.3 million in T-SPLOS funds we can spend.
And he probably wasn't on board then, but I think we've asked 2 or 3 times in the last year about setting up an audit with the landfill people.
Yes, sir. I plan on doing that.
Okay.
That I got on my do list after the pay scale and everything else. You do notice we did have the opioid funds now, and ARP fund, that bank has been changed. We did receive $50,000 in the month of March into the opioid funds.
Sounds good. Anybody got any questions on finance report? We'll move around. Any department heads to speak today?
None to speak, but what? Ms. Fowler? Okay. While Ms. Valerie is approaching, we do have a fire rescue class going that we've got 12 that are in. And then we're also going to be doing some training studies with Public Works. Ms. Valerie?
Okay. Good morning, everybody. Just want to give a quick update on where we're at with hiring. We lost one employee from the animal shelter. That was a voluntary combination. So we have one opening there. And so far we've received 28 resumes or applications. We have one opening in building, planning, and zoning. That also was a voluntary termination. And so far we've had 33 applicants apply for that one. In E911, we hired one communications officer, but right after that we lost 2. One left voluntarily, the other one left non-voluntarily. So far we've had 35 applicants for that, and right now we have 7 openings in E911. Okay, in the fire and rescue public safety areas, we have received 16 applicants since the last time I reported. We have hired one firefighter, one full-time firefighter, and we haven't lost anyone there. Public Works, we have 7 openings. That's changed a lot since last time. We now are looking for 2 laborers. We had 2 that left non-voluntarily. We need 1 equipment operator, and that person left voluntarily. And we need 2 equipment operators. 1 left voluntarily and the other one left non-voluntarily. And so far we've received 22 applications and resumes for the Public Works Department. Finally, in the tax assessor area, we still have 1 opening. That's for an intern. We haven't extended an offer for the appraiser that I mentioned at the last meeting. So we just need an intern. We've gotten several candidates for that. So I'm hoping we'll be able to move forward with the interviews and get somebody hired for the summer soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone? All right, we have any comments?
I'm sorry, Larry that away.
Yes, I gotta read it. We all know about now, but don't we even one second?
I'll read it back to you.
Speaker must contact the county clerk at the Maywood County, clerk, Allison Stevens, on or before the dates and time listed below in order to be placed on the agenda to speak. Speakers must provide their name, address, and topic they wish to discuss. For the second Wednesday of the month, the 9 o'clock a.m. meeting, speakers must email or call before 5 p.m. on the day before the scheduled meeting. The fourth Tuesday of the month, 6 p.m., meeting speakers must email or call before 5 p.m. on the day of the scheduled meeting. Speakers must direct a remark to the board and not to individual commissioners or to the audience. Personal disagreements with individual commissioners or county employees are not a matter of public concern, and personal attacks will not be tolerated. Speakers will be allowed 3 minutes to speak on their chosen topic as they relate to the matter pertinent to the jurisdiction of the board of the commission. No questions will be asked by any of the commissioners during citizens' comments. Outbursts of audience will not be tolerated. Common courtesy and civility are expected at all times during the meeting. No speaker will be permitted to speak more than 3 minutes or more than once unless the board votes to suspend this rule. Donald, go ahead, put your name and address.
Yeah, my name is Larry Dunaway. I live at 3361 Wilbur Keith Road, Greenville, Georgia, 30222. And I'm going to speak this morning about the promoting more the disc golf at Lake Meriwether. Kevin McCoy, as you know, is our disc golf pro and our course designer. He and I have been talking about ways to get more disc golfers down to play at Lake Meriwether. And a couple of things came up that I proposed at the Lake Advisory Board last night, and they were okay with it. So I'm here to get your permission to go ahead. And one is to add some signage at the lake for the disc golf. When you come into the lake, the sign there that has the little squares of all the things that are available, disc golf is not there. So I'd like to get permission to add a sign, and we'll hang it on the bottom side of the sign. So it'll look like it'll be brown, and it'll have the disc golf emblem, and it'll be the same reflective and material that the sign has now. And that'll be one sign that'll go out to the road. Other thing is, as you drive in right on the right-hand side, when you get to the camping area, there's another post with a sign that says campers this way. And I'd like to, and that's a 12 by 12 sign, same brown color. I'd like to put a 12 by 12 sign there with a disc golf emblem on it and an arrow that points that way. So it would be pointing to the hole number 1 on the disc golf course. Those two signs, Ryan Moore at the sign shop in Greenville, he can do those. I got to give him the size of it before he'll give me a price. I don't think those two are going to be more than $100 at the most. The other thing that we'd like that I proposed at the Lake Advisory Board is a bulletin board looking sign at hole number 1 on the disc golf course that has a map of the disc golf. And maybe another little spot where we could put upcoming tournaments or whatever else we could do like that. Now, I'll be willing to construct that sign if the county will pay for the material. In the past, we've had those signs out there, and there'll be a piece of plexiglass over the map. That plexiglass seems to trap water and creatures and everything else. So I think there's a probably cheaper and easier way to do it would be to laminate the map of the disc golf course and put that up there, and don't put anything over it, because you have to come along every once in a while and clean that out there. And so we're talking maybe $100 for the two signs, and I'll come up with a material list and come back to Blue or whoever to do the bulletin board part of it. If I could get y'all's permission to move forward with that, I'll be glad to do that. And I'll do the labor to.
That sounds good. I really wish the way this should have been handled is, especially with you on the advisory board, is to just add it to the agenda for us to discuss on our agenda as to that. And then that way we can go into full detail and have a conversation and then take a vote upon the board. It sounds great. I appreciate you being here today.
Okay, just let me know when I can move ahead with it. And like I'll come back to Blue with the dollar amount. Yeah, I'll come out with the dollar amount.
That'd be great.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for your effort. Any other comments? Okay. All right, we'll go around to number one there, March 26th, 2024, regular meeting, 6:00 p.m. minutes. Has everybody had a chance to look over and need to make any changes? Are you happy with it? Got a motion, got a second? Second. Got a second, all in favor? Thank you. No public hearing. Appointments, planning commission to fill an unexpired term that will end on 1/5/2025. If it's full. Has anybody heard from Commissioner?
Actually, he did call me yesterday and let me know that he's working in Atlanta today, but he had gotten a special invite to meet Trump on tarmac at the airport, so this morning, so, he didn't tell me about the appointment, though.
Didn't give a name.
He did not, so.
He had, I discussed with him last week, someone in District 5 expressed interest, so I relayed it to him. He said he had someone that was interested and that he would get back with me and let me know if that didn't work out for this one. So.
It's been taken several times. They'll table it one more time or?
Yeah, there's two names, so can we pick one? The next meeting, I know there's two names. Okay, I'll make a motion to table until, next meeting.
Got a motion, got a second?
Second.
All in favor? Thank you for doing that. Confirmation of the, going into unfinished business, yes. Confirmation of purchase of a Caterpillar motor grader.
Yes, sir. We're just confirming that we had moved forward with that. At the last meeting, the board voted to move forward contingent upon me providing certain information to the board. We did do that, and we have signed off to reserve the motor grader, and once it's thought, we'll complete the purchase.
Sounds great.
Make-
Coming from Brazil. Probably gonna be it.
I make a motion to accept the purchase of the, motor grader as presented, for 2,243, and that was coming out of SPOS.
Got a motion.
T-SPOS, okay. Nothing corrected then, T-SPOS.
Have a motion, have a second.
Second.
Got a second, all in favor? Resolution for recreation, GRPA.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, good morning. Let me get to my paperwork here on this, and I'll be ready to discuss. This came before you guys, I think, at the last meeting, and I think y'all wanted some additional information on that. This is a resolution to allow our recreation department. As you know, we had an agreement with Manchester, and that agreement expired last year at the end of the year. And we talked about renewing it, but ultimately there was not enough support on the board to do that. So what we're trying to do is to get something where we can be assured that the children in the county program right now are in a position to be able to participate in as many opportunities as they can. We talked about that when we were discussing the situation of moving forward and whether or not to extend the contract with Manchester. And the programs in Woodbury have historically been very popular and well attended. I think that trend continues. I got some pictures the other day from one of our commissioners who was down, and it looks like they were having a really good time.
It was an amazing morning, yes, sir.
Right. There currently are 210 youth participating in baseball at that location. And if you add all the other programs they have, we have about 550 participants in the overall programs there. And this is in Meriwether, coming out of Woodbury. It's not a Woodbury program, but it is a program that's situated right now in Woodbury. Okay. In the past, we've been able to participate in tournaments and playoffs and other things and play outside of the county here under a Georgia Recreation Park Association agreement and membership. Manchester has that, but as we're no longer a member, we need to establish our own GRPA membership. And this is not binding. I mean, the board can can change this anytime with a vote. You can come in, you can go out, you can do whatever. But we need to do something or we're going to deny our kids the opportunity to participate. And at their meeting in March, GRPA accepted actually a request from Meriwether County to join, but they got to have a resolution to do that. Now, when I looked at their draft resolution, and I changed it, I modified it to say what we're really looking at doing because they're saying, hey, we've established a recreation program. While we are establishing a recreation program, and we're going to meet with the cities and everybody, all the interested parties, we've not to that stage yet. So what I did was I modified this draft resolution to say, hey, we've established the initial framework, and then we're going to go back and meet with all the cities and all the towns and interested parties, and we're going to develop a recreation plan that's going to address programs for all of the communities and all ages. And I put those in there where we could be sure we showed the cities, look, we're not bypassing you. We're not leaving you behind. We're going to include you, but we got to do something right now. So that's the reason we modified that resolution and would ask your consideration on approving that today because without that, we're not going to be able to send our children who are in the baseball program, any other programs to any of the playoffs or items that come after tournaments. And they've historically done very well in those too. And bring a lot of pride back to Meriwether County. So for you guys today is a resolution. And we're just asking consideration on that. It clearly states that we're going to meet with the cities so the cities don't think we're moving forward. And I'll be happy to answer any questions anyone has.
So in the last meeting, what we asked for was, we had a resolution back in 2011 to form county recreation. Why would we need a new one? And before we adopted a new one, we wanted to be able to review the prior one versus this one to make sure we were not omitting or adding anything that wasn't wanted.
Yeah, we were not able to find any resolution on that program. We had long abandoned that program. That was a thing when I first came, the county had moved to a county recreation and hired a recreation director. That did not work out. And so they went back and they joined back in with Manchester. So our membership in GRPA, all of that went away. The language in here that says this will repeal anything in conflict with this doesn't really do anything other than just say, hey, if there's something out there in another ordinance that says or resolution that says be a member of GRPA. It's not a strong document. All it does is allow us to be able to get into that program. And to say you can get out of the program anytime you want. You can do it by resolution of the board. You can just not pay the membership, whatever you want to do. But if we wait much later, our kids are going to be denied that opportunity. My understanding, coming out of the meeting, we discussed it. We wanted to have all of them, all across the county, be able to participate. So that's what it's back for.
I understand that, and I really don't appreciate, it kind of being strong-armed in approving a resolution based on children not being able to do something.
Well, I'm not trying to strong arm me, but I wasn't here at your last meeting. Okay, I'm not trying to strong arm anybody. I'm trying to get something done for the children
And I wanted to
move stuff forward. You remember we want to move forward. That's what we're working on.
But we've been told we have a recreation county program, countywide. And then now to say there's no resolution, there's nothing out there, then they said we don't have one. We've got employees for a program that doesn't apparently exist.
Yeah, well,
So I'm in favor of this resolution. I want to support it because I want the children to have their opportunity. But it is disturbing that we can't find the documents that we said we've had. We've been basing decisions on and trying to plan for recreation based on previous stuff, and not that it's your fault.
and who said, I didn't know there was a resolution. I knew there was an agreement with Manchester. I'm not familiar with the other resolutions. I don't think we could, staff could find that resolution anywhere. So I don't know. All I'm trying to do is to just get something for the kids like you are.
I understand. But what I'm trying to say is that we were told by staff that it was a county recreation program. We needed to modify the agreements with the cities of how we were doing it, that we had a county recreation program and that Mr. Carter was the employee of the county because we had that program.
Right.
We were told by Commissioner Threadgill that there was a previous resolution. That's where I get the resolution information from. I wasn't here.
Yeah, I understand. Neither was I. Yeah.
I'm in support of it. It gets frustrating that, do we have things or do we not? And where are we starting from in this? Are we starting at zero?
Yeah.
We need to clear the slate in our minds of what we've been told.
Well,
Or we,
Yeah, well, I know since maybe 17 or so, or 16, we have been operating with an agreement with Manchester. But we also had a division that the county had someone come in because we didn't want to have everything just in Manchester. We wanted to spread it around. That's what people wanted. And so we have, we tried to do that. And so, yes, we had county employees. Randy's one of the part-time. We have a couple more that are part-time, so in Luthersville, that we tried to run these other programs. They ran it in conjunction with Manchester when the other recreation director was there. Worked out fine. You know, they were able to work good together. And, of course, that ended when we had the agreement expire. And of course, you know, my concern with the agreement expire was, hey, and I brought the question about whether or not y'all wanted to extend this, because I know that we needed to do something to plan, because you can't just turn the light switch off and turn it back on. And we're not trying to do that. We're just trying to get our, you know, the light switch halfway there where we could start.
I'm just saying it's confusing and frustrating that, so did we have a county recreation program and we joined forces with Manchester, or did we only have a Manchester Meriwether County program, which now it doesn't exist, and we don't have a county recreation program? We need to get a lot of that cleared up. In fact, we passed this, and I'm in favor of it. In case anybody's thinking.
Well, this will clear, this will actually say we're starting our framework to develop that. Yeah, and so it's not a full-blown, hey, we got a full-blown recreation program that's ready to go. We're starting the framework, and with that, you know, we're going to go back and meet and put that framework together, because we really need a lot of work before we call it a countywide, you know, program.
Oh, yeah.
So it sounds like to me that part of the problem may have been is the resolution we thought, well, the board thought they had probably the same resolution Manchester, because we were running everything through them to the state. So we may or may not have ever had actually own resolution.
And the agreement may have served as a resolution to be able to do that, or the agreement anyway.
That might have been.
Yeah.
So.
I think with the amount of time that has gone by, and really none of us in this room were probably around in 2011 that would have an accurate understanding of what was done. And if we can't find the paperwork, then this is what we need to establish going forward. And to me, it would be fluid enough that we can make changes to it as we go along to develop the program. But maybe this is the foundation that we need to actually, especially with the GRPA. And I'll make a motion to go ahead and accept this resolution as presented with the chair to sign, going forward, that we can establish a countywide recreation program.
And we'll be setting up those meetings here in the very near future. I've got some documentation already on another matter we wanted to talk about, and we'll meet with the cities on that, and then we'll move on into recreation. So, you know, that is our plan.
Commissioner, I confirm with Allison too, they do keep all the official resolutions, so if it's not in there, then.
That's why
I'm not saying that, I wasn't here in 2011 either, I'm saying, but most cities and counties do keep an official, you know, book of them, and if it's not in there, the presumption is it doesn't exist. I'm not saying it doesn't exist either, but she's, Beverly now but they do keep up with them, and if it wasn't in there, it just.
It wasn't in there. So that's what I'm trying to get to.
Like I said, I don't know.
There's a lot of information.
But they do keep up with that stuff, and if it's not in there, then it's only supposed to be in one place, and if it's not in there.
So I'll second the commissioner's motion to accept it.
All right, I got a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
Second.
You second? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't hear you say that. All in favor? Congratulations.
Thank y'all.
We look forward to just growing and going crazy. This is what the kids are all about. It's what I said Saturday in the ceremony. I said, look. The people were Commissioner Collins was there. Park and Lamp getting ready to kick off, and they were glad to see commissioners there. We've had phone calls. So like I told that day, so look around, all these kids you see on the field are Meriwether County. So we're doing the right thing. I hope to keep moving forward on it.
Just make sure we can find this for the 12 years when it's.
All right, we'll go right on to number 3, request to move forward with the purchase of 2 SCBA fuel stations, EMW 2021 FG09877, assistance to firefighters.
Mr. Chairman, if you don't mind me just kind of Supervisor Moore.
I just make a motion that the staff put those, the purchase of the two SCBA field faces out, be it hard to read. I make that a formal motion.
Okay. Can I provide a little?
Yeah, please do.
Information. Yes, sir, we had, looked at, I mean, just providing kind of recap, you know, we had looked at how the price had gone up and, Ms. Raymond was, you know, looking around to see, what else is out there. I asked, Chief yesterday about the, you know, the actual one he was looking at and, you know, what are the advantages of it or, you know, what might not be necessary. And, one thing I was going to throw in there, he talked about that one, although it's a little bit more expensive than some of the ones we looked at, it has the advantage of speed as far as filling them up. And I said, and we kind of got to the details a little bit about, you know, the speed of how these things build up. And I said, let me try to simplify this where, you know, we can, you know, understand it quickly. And I said, oh, sorry. And I said, if we were to have, two fires back to back, would y'all be in a bad spot with, having your tanks refilled and being able to go back out? And he said, yes, we would. And that's why, you know, they pursued kind of the quicker model. So, you know, that's just something to be considered, you know, as we move forward, you know, how we all want to do it. We are on a little bit of a, you know, timeline to get it spent, but, you know, we still want to.
Yes, sir.
Does this have to be put out for RFP being that it was a grant? That was so confusing. It's taken 2 years to clear up.
Yeah, here's the thing. It started as a grant he made an application for, okay? And of course, when you make an application, sometimes they'll drag it out, whatever. So we didn't get notification right away that the money was available, whatever. And then it went into, last year. The dollars actually went up at the last quarter. I found out this morning, went up the last quarter of last year is when they went up. Okay, so I do know that Chief had been asking about it. Whatever reason, we've been through 3 administrations now. It did not get done in time. He and I did talk about it and we were working on it, understanding we had a July or whatever it was deadline. So it just got kicked down the road and I don't know what happened to it in that interim time. It just didn't get brought before and approved. But we can buy it. To answer your question, we can buy it if it's on the state bid or it's on a federal bid list that we're party to without having to go through the bidding process. If you don't do that, then you have to be very careful that we follow our purchasing policies. And I've got a copy of those and I'll be sure everybody gets them where they'll understand what what we need to go through. Public works projects, I know, have to be over 100,000 and maybe looking at increasing those. It's always a good idea. And our policy says we'll always get bids on things. So we've got the RFP. I had it almost completely written. And then we found out it was on the state bid or the federal bid. So we just didn't follow through with it, but I can get that written. The only thing I would say is we do need to move it like ASAP. And I would say we get the proposals, we check and see if any of these other companies are also on that state federal bidders list, and that will save us some time. And if they are, we can get 3 of those or so and bring those back and have them ready. We just need to be able to be assured that we've got the dollar amount. We need to spend that dollar amount and get as good a piece of equipment as we can get and, you know, minimize our costs going forward. But there's just a lot of moving parts and a lot of changes here, and I don't think it's anyone's fault. Certainly the chief mentioned it a lot of times and he wanted to get it done, but he did need some help with it. And so that's where we bring it back today. And I'm glad to see you guys offer to take it back out and get some more quotes on it and bid it. I think that's the proper way to do it. That way we don't jeopardize the grant in any way. And we'll expedite that ASAP and try to have that back to you guys at your very next meeting for approval. And I'll be able to answer any other questions. Thank y'all for letting me add those comments there. I just wanted y'all to know when it expired. Okay.
But again, it's one of those things, we're all new on the board and this is previous before we got here. So it's just one of those things, again, it's a last hour rush, got to get things done.
So you get things
We don't want to jeopardize not getting this equipment for firefighters.
So if we want to lose that grant, we want to do that. When you guys finish it and hand it off, it goes back to the staff, and I can't say what happened with it there. I know that Danny mentioned me several times about, hey, we need to get this out, we got a deadline. And we were working in what else we had to do, but so there were a lot of other stuff too. We've been catching up on a lot of stuff this year that we, needed to get done.
So what is the deadline and what would it,
September first.
what's that?
September first.
No, then the next part of the question was gonna be, if we did, Commissioner Collins and got bids, what kind of, are we gonna be safe that timeline? We don't wanna lose this
Yeah,
grant.
what we'll be is, what I'll do is I will have that, documentation ready for you guys next meeting. If we can't find it on the state bid where we don't have to go out, we have to actually go out and procure it. It's what we'll do with that is we will get to start that right away and, we get that process going. We do have to advertise, we do that a couple of weeks. But we'll try to have that back until the next meeting, particularly if I can get it off the state bid.
So this all falls under his motion.
Yes.
Okay, got a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Got a motion,
We'll
second.
put that in our priority before we.
Thank you. I hope we can wrap that up at the next meeting.
Hang on, they didn't.
Anybody, all in favor?
Got a motion, second.
And I said all in favor.
But they didn't vote.
Yes.
Oh,
Now they did.
We had two.
It went fast, so.
Thank y'all.
Thank you, Mr. Gates.
Thank you.
All right, continued, county fireworks discussion for July 6, 2024.
Yes, sir, we're continuing to move forward with that. Allison mentioned before, she got, some insurance information. I reached out and got a contract from another county, just kind of have an idea of what all needs to be in it. One interested, company, that, Mr. Emmett had found, had provided their offer, and, I spoke with them. They also provided, their contract, which we could, compare the two and worst case with Nathan and Michael and make sure we got something good. And, actually also talked to a second one, too, and, they're interested in, putting it on. So we're continuing to, move forward with that. It's kind of update us to where we are.
So we can move forward and set the date and plan on it. We're just gonna have to finalize who's gonna be doing the show.
Yes, sir, I think so. Unless we have some big issue come up, we didn't plan for.
That'd be good. And we spoke with Randy Carter. He said that he'd make it happen. Maybe, see baseball season will be over with, but maybe bring the top 4 teams in there that day. Let the 4 teams play, and then the 2 winners of those 2 games play. And I told him maybe we might need to put together some kind of award, trophy thing or something, says July 6, 2024, Maryland County Fireworks, championship game or tournament game. And he was excited about that. And then I reached out to a friend of mine, so country music songwriter and singer, and he supposed to let me know tonight. I believe he could be there to perform. And then I think you were talking about some vendors.
Got several, sponsors,
Local companies want to sponsor.
But I hated to keep asking people and not be approved here.
So the food vendors, you do have food vendors. I
I
just
got a
need,
list of them, but I had contacted.
okay. So they would just go
I got a
for,
list of food vendors from Ron full of it, the same ones that use the pizzas in their pies, and all that.
So
Well, we mentioned the other day, we talked a little bit about it. I think your first step today is to approve it. We'll staff help you work and get this set up, do whatever we have to do.
that's what I was asking. We need to make a motion to approve the planning for this, and then we need to put a dollar limit on the spending, not to exceed up to this point, so.
Okay.
So I make a motion to approve, move forward county fireworks on July 6th, not to exceed $25,000.
Got a second?
Second.
Got a second? All in favor?
that they pay out.
They will be excited. All right, so now we can move forward, getting all the details and plans, and you can talk to people, say it's going to happen.
The source, funding source.
General.
Okay, general.
All right, thanks. We'll move right on to number 5 there. Approval to submit application for the EPD Better Back Roads for year 24, 319 grant.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Chairman. Commissioners, coming to you today to discuss getting the approval for application for the FY 24-319 H grant. This is the grant that we will use to train public work staff. We will use it to get additional materials, and we will also use this work to clean up the erosion and the sediment that is coming into Meriwether County streams that is flowing off of our roads. If you will look in your packets, this is the book that we are going to be training off of. It's the 2020 version, the updated version of the Georgia Unpaved Roads Manual. That we have a contractor down in South Georgia, Golden Triangle, that helped craft this manual, and they are now doing training on it. If you flip over, you can see some of the best management practices and some of the topics that they will be training on. And then just a little bit of a snippet about why sediment and dirt roads are so important. It's just information for you to look at. And then the fourth page in there will show the area where we are actually going to hold the projects. It is in the Chattahoochee Basin, part of Meriwether County. And the reason for that is where most of our impairments for sediment are coming from. So it's primarily going to be in 1, 2, and 5 coming down. And we have two different, what are called Huck 12s. It's two large areas of streams and waterways that flow from Meriwether into the Chattahoochee Basin. EPD is a very data-driven agency, so that is why they wanted us to focus on the western side of the county. The other reason that they asked us to focus on it, and they actually came back with an offer to help us and to pay for a watershed management plan to help fund and plan and identify future priorities and future activities that we can use to continue to clean up our water. And if you think about how important water is in Meriwether County, between the Covered Bridge, the Flint River, Lake Meriwether, we use water for fishing, we use it for swimming, we use it for drinking. It is one of our true wonders and natural resources that we have in the county. And this money will go towards improving it and bringing in other opportunities and other projects. And this is one of the best kind of grants that there are, because it solves multiple problems with one application and has multiple solutions. So we are going to get better on our dirt roads. EPD is going to get better data on how much sediment is going into our streams. We're going to be able to build a network of partners to help us, including outreach and education, including citizen scientists, including the high schools, technical schools. This is a real good opportunity to lay a foundation for future water work in Meriwether County. We have a proposed budget on the back sheet. The way that EPD grants work is once you submit an application, then you begin to negotiate the amounts and the specific duties. We will have another chance to come back for you to approve the final number. All the numbers on this grant are tentative, and right now we're looking at about a $400,000 grant project. It would come from so the money that we're spending over here on the in-kind column is money that we've already got budgeted. Public works staff, public works equipment, materials. And then we're also getting EPD to pay for some materials as well. It's a great opportunity for us. We've got a lot of things in place for it. And I just ask your permission, please, to pursue this, continue it, and then get accepted and then have a successful negotiation for the project. Yes, ma'am. Sure. Mm-hmm.
Is that for this, will we piggyback, will we actually?
Mm-hmm.
The trail, the water trail.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That you got some baseline already.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and the projects, and I know that, Carolyn McKinney would like
Mm-hmm.
to advance to answer the question, whatever.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there anything that we can do with Flint, or this is going to be totally independent EPD?
Yes and no. So we will be able to take this work and move it into the Flint Basin. We did look at the Flint Basin first. We have already had conversations with the Flint River Keeper. They are willing and on board to do projects. This one will start in the chat and we will eventually move over to the Flint. But because Gordon and all of them are so active with the Flint River Keeper, I think they wanted to focus on the chat just a little bit. But to answer your question, yes, we are going back to the Flint. It's just a matter of time. Yes, ma'am.
We were originally looking at both, and I said in the meeting. We got him over towards the Chattahoochee.
Yeah. It was, but you're right. I originally, like I said, wanted to go to the Flint. You know, we've got a lot more area. The Flint's just a bigger target. So we will get back to it.
Any other questions? If not, look for a motion to,
I got a question. So this is to pursue getting a grant. And once we enter the agreement, with the grant conditions, are we then liable for a term or period of time to maintain certain things that will end up costing the county more money in the future outside of the grant?
Yes, sir. This is a 2-year grant. These figures that you have on here are for the entire 2-year period. And the way that we came up with these numbers is installing a certain number of best management practices, multiplying the time out, the equipment out, and then establishing the figures. So the figures that you see over here in the in-kind, I've already worked with John on, and we have it in the budget for the next 2 years. And honestly, sir, we spend this in just a couple of months within public works. So we're going to be able to.
We'll be tied to specific projects that will have to get done.
Yes, sir.
With the budgeted money.
Yes, sir.
Versus where a recent storm in the Flint River side of the county will have to do these because we're in that agreement with the grant process.
Yes, sir. Up to a certain amount. And typically what we'll do is we'll say at least 15, at least 20. So once we hit that number, we can continue onward.
We'll have that more detail once you come back with.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Approve the grant agreement, I would recommend y'all.
Oh, yes, sir. Absolutely. Yes.
But I was kind of getting
Sure.
information that's going that way, so.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Okay, we haven't discussed it yet, but on the agenda is discussing culverts, and it looks like that part of the grant says material, culvert and rock. Will we be able to use anything that from that particular what we're going to discuss upcoming on culverts or whatever? Can we apply that toward this grant?
We can if we do it after the grant is signed and acknowledged. We can't do it now. We can't do it before. But what we can do is note the locations and have almost a control set of culverts before, and then come back and in the future compare them. But we can, but only after the grant starts.
And we'll get into the LRA later, but the LRA, understand you can, after you put it in, you can actually change the projects a little bit as. So this wouldn't complicate the LRA.
Mm-mm.
I don't think
It would not.
Probably let you put people, grant funds. What we'll do with those is put together our, program GDOT, and then in conjunction with that, we could have an addendum to our contract or our bid that says we'll do some of these projects. So that needs what
I think my only concern would be that I wouldn't want to miss an opportunity.
Mhm.
Sure, we've got plenty of culverts.
Yes, we do. Mm-hmm.
With that being said,
Mm-hmm.
if we don't need to have it listed on the grant
right.
to make sure it's covered on the GDOT,
Mm-hmm.
That's just my only concern.
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am. And we'll track it and be aware of it.
Okay.
This is a question I think I already know the answer to, but it looks like the hard cash match we're estimating to be 25,000.
So actually that is not, no, sir, because that is material that I'm hoping to have donated by a geotex company that we have come to, that we've been talking with. I just moved it over to the cash column because I was trying to work on my percentages down here. And that, I'll be honest with you, that's going to be tentative. I don't want to complicate it any more than we have to.
So you're basically asking for approval to move forward with the grant.
Yes, ma'am. The grant application.
Make that in form of a motion to move forward with the EPD grant, as stated.
Second.
second, all in favor? Thank you.
Thank you, commissioners.
Right on into new business. Number one, the jail plumbing project. Okay,
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Chairman, Board of Commissioners, I bring to y'all a recommendation on the jail plumbing project. Back in May of 2023, we submitted proposals to several plumbing vendors, mechanical vendors, and then we also advertised on the Georgia procurement site for the proposal. We had no response from any of the vendors at that time. So I think the board approved for us staff to negotiate with some companies for these proposals. And we reached out to Fitzgerald and Son, Tomco Construction, Bates Mechanical, and also Theron had met with Mr. Seth Davis at the jail on March 25th, 24. I did not get a response from Fitzgerald and Son, which I tried contacting twice, and Davis Plumbing as of today, April 4th, 2024. Tomco Construction gave a proposal of $795,750. Bates Mechanical gave a proposal of $442,150. My recommendation be approve Bates Mechanical as the lowest and best proposal. And that's to go in and repair all the plumbing issues, new fixtures in the jail.
What was that total bid?
Pardon?
What was that total bid?
Yes.
So that's a big difference between bids.
Well, I can tell you,
I'm sure that you guys, they're doing the same work, right?
Yes.
They're going to get the same.
Yep. I think that the difference is Bates is their proposal is their companies do it. Tomco is a general contractor. So I think that's a little bit of the
I've been
difference.
known Tomco 20 some years and they're good folks, but they're going to.
And he probably was going to use Bates to do the work.
You're definitely going to save if you deal directly with it.
Yes, sir.
All right.
This has been a long-standing issue, and I'm gonna make a motion to move forward with Bates Mechanical at $442,150 for the plumbing repairs up at the jail. And the funding source would be SPLOST.
I'll second
Got a second, all in favor? Boy, we get things done today.
Thank you.
This will be the third of your three things with the good jail. We'll have the roof, we'll have the locked doors, and then we have the plumbing. So that's great.
Although descaled the sanitary, most of the sanitary lines have been descaled.
That'll help with the flow.
All right, we'll go right on number 2, the GF1 resolution request for general fund special projects.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, Board of Commissioners. In order to move the general fund special projects of the 3.5 million into the local investment pool, we have to create a new resolution. Everything's done electronically. With permission with the board, I can fill it out and the chair would have to verify themselves and then we would be able to open that account. And I would recommend we move the $3.5 million into an investment pool, leaving the balance of the 18,000 in the account to keep First People's open. We gave them about $1,700 of interest in that account last month at the local bank. If we move it to an investment pool, you're looking at about $15,000 a month. And it takes about 48 hours to get the money back if the board approves a project to use these funds. We would just earn more interest until the board decides to spend those funds.
Motion we approve GF1 resolution request for general fund special project.
Got a second? All in favor? Second.
And I'll give it to you, Mr. Chairman, when everything's ready for you to verify.
You just have to stay in front of the camera.
Yeah, show your ID, they'll verify you are who you are, and unless they got the electronic notary back up and running. This is the resolution they require for all of our investment pools.
I'll just find out them know you co-sign. All right, number 3, pay scale rough draft.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, Board of Commissioners. My staff and HR has worked very hard on this the last couple of weeks. Once the audit was done to get this prepared. This is a very rough draft. I've triple checked it. My staff has went over it, but I want to triple check it again before we present it for approval at the next meeting. But in front of you, you have the projected scale of current salaries, a little over $8 million. You put them on a scale, it's gonna be almost 8.2. You got the difference annual of about $165,000. The FICA for employer retirement. I did at 7%. Not everybody contributes, but I'd rather be conservative than not. So you look at a total annually to put them on a scale of about $190,000. Over the last 11 pay periods, if we institute this in May, it's only an increase of about $7,300 a pay period. And on your second part of that package, you'll see the budget.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
Is that because of the open positions?
Yes, sir. And I'm fixing to address that one in this next case. You got 3 pages. This is ran as of March 31, which has been 6 months. Ideal percentage is 50% on your salary account. So these are all the salary line items in the county. You can see everybody's above 50% except for finance in the corner. I have to look in that and see what it is. Maybe because I haven't moved the budget amount from the 2.5% allotment yet. I don't do everything at once. But if you look at the last page, we budgeted $9.4 million for salaries. At 6 months, we're at $4 million. So just a little over $4 million. So you double that, we're at $8 million. We're saving $1.3 million in salaries due to vacancies right now.
But we don't want to say it, but.
Correct. But due to the openings, we have 1.3 million projected what we're going to have with the vacancies out there.
So in short, then this allows us to become more competitive and gain better retention.
Yes, sir.
And be not over budget due to vacancies while we're gaining.
Yes, sir. And we have talked with every department head, elected official. They have went through each one of their employees and put them on a pay scale. The last package that you have in there is our real property. What we budgeted was 8.17 million. We brought in 8.4 right now. We'll probably bring in a few more 100,000 before the end of the year. We're already to the good of $261,000 in tax revenue. That already pays for itself by moving up to the step. And that's only going to go up higher with the houses being built and they being on digest January 1. Your next page shows the $37,000 that we earn in interest in the investment pool for the general fund. Year to date, and since this fiscal year, we have earned $175,000 worth of income in the general fund investment pool. We'll get another 37, roughly around 37,000. If this is take place in May, we'll get this money about the 5th of May. So we'll have the investment pool funds to pay for. We have it now because it's $80,000.
Yeah.
And then your last page just shows last year's wages paid out was almost $8.2 million.
I think it's fantastic, and I appreciate the hard work y'all put into it. And I think it shows that with the increase in tax revenue that we can support, we questioned that earlier, or last year during the budget process. Then you couple that with the fact we have the openings that allow us not to, I think we're in good shape and we're not having issues being able to cover that and be able to grow more.
Yes, sir. And I do have the road draft for the pay scale, but I think there's a need to discuss it in personnel and executive session. So I will get that out to the commissioners in executive session. There's a need to go in executive for personnel on the pay scale related.
That's great.
That's all I have.
No action on this.
No, it's just an update.
Thank you very much.
Everybody that's participated in that.
Thank you, commissioners.
All right, number 4, MOA with GDOT regarding the PI 0016574 CR 2046 CR 4112 Flat Shoals Road at Flint River.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, we received notice from the State Bridge Design and Maintenance Office. They're looking, of course, to replace the bridge at Flat Shoals, and I think that bridge is, it's nearing its, in life, and so probably does need to be done. Previously, the board, the past board had approved a memorandum of agreement that is now expired. EDOT starting over again, taking all those old records out and putting new records in. So what they're asking for, and this has been part of their policy over the last, 4 or 5 years, is they've asked for local participation in projects. And what they're asking with this is that usually they'll ask local governments to participate in right-of-way acquisition. They don't want us to go out and do in-kind. They want us to just pay part of the dollars of that. So what they're asking is that you agree to pay $100,000 toward right-of-way acquisition on this project. And sometimes when you sign this, they'll say, okay, go ahead and send us 100. So we may have to kind of do that right away if you guys approve it. If you don't approve it, the bridge, I guess, depending on safety, gets kicked down the road. It may not happen in a timely manner. It'll go to the end of their stack and start over again. If you do agree to do it, I would suggest that you pay for it out of T-Splosh. T-Splosh has a component that says you will participate with some state transportation improvement programs. And if they come available, and this is certainly one that would qualify for that. So I think that way we can meet our criteria on the STIP with the state. And the request before you today is to dedicate and sign the memorandum of agreement for $100,000 contribution toward the right-of-way acquisition on that bridge. Believe me, that bridge is going to cost a pretty penny. $100,000 is a lot of money for us, but it's a drop in the bucket of what the bridge would cost. So
But it's a certainty that there will have to be right-of-way acquisition made.
there will have to be some right-of-way. Yes, sir, there will be. I mean, it's just
We'll have to do it sooner or later. Whenever it happens.
absolutely. We'll have to do it sooner or later. Maybe $200,000 by then.
I did get, Mr. Ball and I was meeting with GDOT yesterday.
Okay.
One of the guys overall, in fact, that was part of the discussion.
Right.
If I understood correctly, I think they said not gonna do it till 27.
Yeah, this is kind of in the early stages. They're lining everything up right now. That's the way they do. They do several processes. They get all their things
Yeah.
lined up in the meantime, and then they start that rolling.
I'm just asking, because I'm
Yeah.
you legal guy, but can we approve it, but, the money be sent to them like at a timeline when we're closer to it? Why should they get the money and earn interest off of it till
Yeah.
27 when we should be doing the same thing?
Well, the agreement says that you must send their money when they invoice you for it. So I don't know when that will be.
Oh, so if they take them a while, they.
Yeah, well, it might, but they may send you an invoice next week. So I know there for a while, they were wanting the money up front because we had that issue with them one time before. Like, well, why can't we hold the money till you get ready?
Speaking of that, the previous agreement in the previous board, you said they've already agreed to this. Did we already supply funds on that?
No, we did not supply funds on that. I don't think they were far enough at that time. But we'll be 100% sure we don't.
But what I'm saying, it can't be said that, we are gonna pass it, we're gonna send y'all $100,000, and we'd like to do that approximately a year out of the project.
Well, when you sign the agreement, you're agreeing to their terms, which says when they invoice it, and maybe it'll get into that 27 and we'll be able to do it at that point. Probably if they're looking at that, I would say they may at the latest ask for the money probably next year, because where they really start designing, they're going to need to know where that right of way is and everything. So
I had asked them yesterday too, it'd be the perfect time. I know the landowner may or may not. I think it's been looked at in previous years. But when they rebuild that bridge, it'd be the perfect opportunity time if we could work out some kind of deal with easement access to the Flint River there for kayakers and, to
right,
tie it all in at the same time. It's a new bridge. There's a place out there, because they're probably gonna need a place to work anyhow.
right.
Maybe gravel and so forth, and then,
Yeah. That would be great if we could. There's a lot of people that,
either something of that,
Yeah.
there's a lot of blocking out, but still, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like the one down in Woodbury, it's got deep enough for a boat ramp, but, the subdivision there got all mad, don't like all those kids and everybody out, and they
Right.
stopped it, and then,
Right.
but I think we should be able to give citizens on our side of the county access to
Yeah.
get on the Flint River.
well, I know there's been a lot of issues with the property owner on our side who does not like, because there's gathering of people down there in summertime out in Rock, beautiful location. And there's been some conflict there, but I think to look toward that and try to do that is a really good idea. I do. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions?
Any other questions from the board? Do I have a motion?
Thank y'all.
So I make a motion to approve the proposal where our chairman.
Got a motion, I have a second?
Right.
Got a second, all in favor?
And the money to be paid out of T-Splosh.
Yeah.
That'll invoice you 2 or 3 times.
Our ordinance, I think it's at 30 years. Then we have to pay it.
Even the mail's messed up.
I don't know, 30 days.
And we don't do nothing about live, so maybe we can drag it out. We'll see. All right, number 5, confirmation of the purchase of replacement engine for ambulance.
I should just stand up here. I can get up and down. Yes, thank y'all. As y'all know, we've been working on, our ambulance fleet, trying to get a lot of stuff done with that. We've recently discussed the upgrading and replacing of part of our fleet. You guys have approved and we have received 2 chassis. We have one EMS box that's being refurbished right now. We're going to be issuing RFP for the second box. And what we'll do is we'll remove a box off one of our existing units and put it onto the other chassis that we have. Another issue that we talked about is purchasing a new engine to be installed on an existing EMS unit. This is one of the units that was designated as one of these 2 up here at the top we talked about, to be able to have the box removed and put on another ambulance. What we were able to do is to find a box, and so we didn't have to do that. It was almost a new box. It was in an accident that you guys remember, but it was not hurt. So we bought that box. So what that did, it left us some options with this, and that option would be to purchase an engine, install it in that truck, and run that truck for an extended period of time. That also leaves us a box at the end of the life of that truck that we also can turn around and remount as well and save some more money. So I know Commissioner Collins has been working on this, and we've all talked about it. And we've located an engine that'll work with the truck. The approximate cost of the engine, replacement of the turbo, new injectors, new injector pump, and installation of the engine is approximately $21,000. And again, that will allow that unit to stay in the fleet instead of removing it right now, and also leave us a surplus box in the future. So that'd be our recommendation.
Okay. I make a motion to remove file the purchase of engine for the 2015 Hamilton.
Make a second.
Just put $21,000 out of each one.
This be out of the capital outlay general fund.
What?
Capital outlay general fund.
Okay,
Second.
all in favor? Opposed? We're good. Thank you. Number 6, Local Roads Act, request to submit application.
Do you want to do that one?
I
I'll be back. All right, keep me back. Okay, thank you.
have your seat here.
No, I'm good over there. I'm good. By the way, as all of you are aware, Governor Kemp had actually approved a second round of state transportation funding for all eligible local governments, and all governments are not eligible, believe it or not. But the Meriwether County received an allocation of the LRA funding in the amount of $1,013,379.36. It also comes with no local match requirements. As you guys know, we have to match 30%. As a point of reference, our 2024 LMIG amount was $818,000. We actually got more money on this than we did that. It did require 30% match. So last week I got a call at home from our local, GDOT board member here, and he said, "Hey, you guys just need to move forward with this as soon as you can. We want to get this done, and we certainly want to capture the dollars." So in discussions on potential projects with Bill Cawthorn, he made a very good point of including culverts and bridge replacements as part of the main focus of this program. We have culverts and bridges all over the county that are at the end of their life cycle and need replacing. And considering these facts, Bill's put together a list of projects based on condition and need, and they're all over the county. The list contains project names and estimated cost. These are not bid costs, but they're estimated costs. Hopefully they'll be close. So we come in a little bit under, we can add another bridge. We come in or culvert. We come in a little bit over, we're going to have to cut some of that list back out. Also, priorities may change. Jared mentioned earlier that we'd have the ability to be able to change these projects if we had to down the road, and we can certainly do that, but they do require you to make a list of projects. At one time, they would allow you to be able to say, we're going to replace various culverts and bridges and leave it at that. They don't want to do that anymore. Atlanta wants to see some specific projects. So what we recommend is that you approve the list of the projects and allow staff to move forward with the application for the local road assistance funding. Once that funding comes in, we'll go ahead and start to put together some bids for these projects. And all of that will come back before the board. But today, we're just looking to make that application because we want to get those dollars in hand, in case something comes up with the state.
If I could add this, one thought, Mr. Barrett, having somebody that's done a lot of infrastructure, projects for counties, whatnot, grant funded. A lot of grant funding sources look for you to focus on a project area, a group area. So one benefit here of the project, as I laid it out, is taking the ability to go countywide and do things all over the place. So that's just, kind of one further benefit to consider.
And we have, I mean, it amazed me that how quick Bill was able to put together $1 million worth of culverts, which says something, when you said earlier about how many culverts we need to replace out there. So,
Yeah.
it,
With the amount of rain that we've had and the number of problems that we have had, I would say, I'll make a motion to move forward with this. And, I think it's an excellent opportunity to address infrastructure in such a way that, culverts and bridges are very important.
right.
So
You can drive over that pothole or around it, but you can't drive over that bridge of culvert.
that just from this list and all, I have been notified of several of them that really are of concern. So with that, I'm thinking that in form of a motion for us to move forward to submit this list as presented.
Have a motion, do I have a second? Got a second, all in favor? Another discussion we had, yesterday with Senator Randy.
Right.
He was saying the same thing, like that money we got coming from the state and so forth, that would be the number one thing we could focus on from Meriwether County. If to get the ditches cleaned out, the shrub cut back, pipe replaced, he goes, transportation is your first thing. So I think we're gonna see a lot of improvements, people happy, hoping going in by the time we go to the next year.
So that would be good. And I mean, by the end of this week, I should have your patching RFP ready to go to get pricing on pre-order patching. And, we'll go ahead and get that advertised and bring that back to you guys here as soon as those bids come. Okay?
That was for no specific,
No specific,
Right,
that
it was for the square-
square yard patching.
to each.
You guys can select roads and we'll go back out and we'll get a bid on it.
Thank you. Number 7, designate Caldwell Road as a no-through trucks.
All right, let me first assure y'all, this is a new issue. We've had a similar one. So I didn't want to confuse people that this isn't the one coming back up. Caldwell Road, if you'll recall, we had a gentleman, come in, the previous meeting, his name escapes me at the moment, but, he noted his concern, that there are no through truck times, on his road. And, understand his concern was trucks being able to get to his house. But, actually trucks can still come to his house. The signs just stop people from, taking the shortcut through the road. So that actually isn't going to cause him, any issue. But, in looking into it, staff found that, we actually, all of the signs are up, we had not, designated the road as, no through trucks. So that road is actually having, stormwater issues. I might remember, us bringing that up before. We're looking at, how to address that best. But if we were to go ahead and designate, the road as no through trucks, that would appropriately allow those, signs to stay up and, would, help with at least not making the stormwater issue any worse. And if there's any confusion with the gentleman, I'll be happy to speak with him, but we recommend, designating Caldwell Road as, no through trucks.
Any questions from the board, do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to designate Caldwell Road as a no through trucks.
Got a motion that goes out, got a second, all in favor? Opposed, passed. Number 8, install speed bump on Mount Single Road, Hill Road.
Commissioners, several times some of the residents have come before you guys asking that we have, speed bumps on their road. Their road went from a dirt road to being paved and they're loving that. But what they also found out is when you pave a road, speed increases. And while it's your neighbors doing it, sometimes it's kind of hard to confront that and get that squared away. So they've come asking for speed bumps. our hesitancy of doing speed bumps has been that we had some damage when the tornado come in and we're trying to get that done. The contractor's going to come back and fix that. So in order to assure the residents there that they're going to be able to have these, speed bumps, what I'd recommend we do is go ahead and approve the speed bumps contingent upon installation when the road is repaired. That way we can notify the folks up there. They'll know they're coming. As soon as the road's repaired, we'll go up and put those down. So that will keep them from having to come back constantly as to give them an answer to their question.
I've heard of the road and I've been on it before, but I can't picture it in my mind, but is it a pass-through road or is it just, what's that?
Alley in Carroll, and it's only 1 mile that's paved because it becomes dirt once you get past the houses.
And there's no houses down there on the lower end, I mean, the southern.
Like over in Coweta County, we work on a project there, and if it's where ambulances and fire trucks cut through, they're not gonna want speed bump.
Right.
But if it's not that kind of a cut through, then I
Yeah.
agree with the citizens there.
Yeah, it's not a cut through, just the residents right there.
And it is my district, and I would like to make a motion to go ahead and I would assume that we move forward with speed bumps after the corrections have been made to the repairs.
And what we'll do is we'll notify the citizens there where they will know they don't have to come back and ask it something. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we got a motion. Do I have a second? Got a second, all in favor? Thank you very much. Move right on to number 9. Discussion of moratorium for section 32-21 waivers to animal limitations. Sandy.
Okay, this moratorium is right now, you guys. Thank you. Right now, under section 32-21 waiver for animal limitations, it doesn't really give you a good guideline as far as when someone comes in and asks for a waiver for the number of dogs or cats, even, but mostly dogs, that they can breed and keep on their properties. And we have a particular person that comes in every year wanting to increase the number of dogs that she can breed and kennel. And I'm asking for a moratorium to put in place so that we can create a chart based on property, types of dogs, the type of kennels that they're going to have, just the number of dogs that are going to be breeding. Larger dogs can breed up to 10, smaller dogs can breed up to 3. This particular woman has German Shepherds, so she could actually have 10 dogs. And if we give her, right now she has 10 breeding dogs, that would give her, they all did 10, 100 puppies on her property. Her property is not really big enough or large enough for that many dogs. So I'm just asking for a moratorium for 120 days. So I can create you guys a chart and be more consistent throughout the county for anyone and everyone asking for a animal limitation on their properties. Because right now, every piece of property is different. No one is no consistency as to how many dogs or cats have been allowed. They just have been coming before the board, and the board has more or less approved it. And so I am just asking that we can come up with a chart that you guys could go by and have a more consistent way of approving this limitation.
Why do we need a moratorium to do that?
Because Ms. Carmen is going to be coming before the board again, asking for another addition or more animals. And if we put a moratorium on there for right now, her application would not be accepted until this moratorium is completed. And we have a chart.
board approval, isn't it?
Yes, but this would give us, where we have a chart for her about this thick, because she always wants to compare to all these other people around the county. If we had a moratorium where I could create a chart and we can have, where her area is, her size lot, this is the limit, this is all you can have. If you had this many acres, this is all you can have. If I had a chart to go by and you guys had a chart to go by, it'd be a lot easier than just saying, okay, well, you want 2 more dogs, we're gonna give you 2 more dogs. If you want,
This would give her the time to get the chart in place.
Yes.
There's also a rehiring for a physician, so we'll help her get, restaffed while she.
Correct.
takes it.
My understanding, this would provide some uniform continuity that by a chart form that
right,
in order to meet the specifications or whatever.
right, I could go by what we've,
Within a certain parameters or.
right, I can go by what we've already have approved throughout the county on certain readers and borders and kind of create a chart based on what we've already agreed upon. And then, just have the chart kind of a guideline. It gives you a little more, way for you guys to see.
Next up, I think I'm really saying that, if this was completed ahead of the 120 days.
Yeah, so the way the resolution is drafted, my understanding was this would give your staff time to stop processing these applications so they can work on some type of methodology and regulation for the board to consider. And the way this resolution is written, it expires either at the end of the 120 days or when this board passes a ordinance or resolution affecting it. So it can end, and you can end it at any time also.
Instead of just, I remember the suggestion, instead of just doing 120, 180, whatever it was, we need to have a date specific.
We just need to have as long as it's a specific time. So 120 days from today's date, like the resolution specifically, I put specific dates in there that Jared or Allison asked me to, just said, tell me how long you would like, because there's not a lot of guidance on the law, how long is too long or too short. So I just said, yeah, we can go ahead and put one in place and then just start working on it.
Yeah, I don't see how it would take 4 months.
If it takes 1 month, it doesn't matter.
It won't take, but I've already started on it.
You just want to have time to complete it and have a review before it's.
Have it reviewed by you guys and then.
It happens with like sign permits sometimes. I've seen it for mobile home permits. I've seen it for everything, just about.
And I believe the cover paper says moratorium until October the 11th.
That's right. The resolution is actually right. It's August 8th.
Yeah, August 8th.
Okay. So.
No citizen can request anything until this is lifted.
Correct.
As long as it relates to animal waivers. It's just specifically for animals.
And need to be careful. It sounds like we're changing the system for one person.
No, we're changing it we've had several that have come in asking for waivers for more animals. But there is one that likes, huh?
In your comments, you mentioned one individual a couple of times.
Comes in every year.
Yes, sir.
What's that?
My understanding was it was a systemic problem, but I don't know.
Yeah, probably, we can't change it back. We're gonna take action, move forward, but probably should have just came in and asked for the moratorium period to give us time to work on this, work on that, and not somebody else.
There are these additional situations that will come up. Now, just waiting for you. And it doesn't really relate to anything, am I right, Sandra, except for just an application for waiver of the number of dogs that the county already allowed.
Right.
Right.
That is correct.
But this is for those who breed in the breeding business.
It would really be for anybody.
Anybody.
I asked her yesterday specifically, I said, is this for people in the breeding business and so forth? Because it says establish how many dogs he can have per residential lots, like a small lot, not.
It is not specific to breeding.
No, not to
But that,
them.
yesterday.
I told you it wasn't for them, it's for the kennels and the breeders.
'Cause my question was yesterday, I said, are we fixing to start telling, because I have a farm, we're gonna start telling folks in this county that have a farm and cattle and horses that you can only have 3 dogs or 4 dogs. I wanted to make sure we wasn't going that line.
Well, you already do have such.
You already have that.
And the ordinance allows, I think it's 5, it's tied to.
5 and 3.
Cassandra would know, it's tied to the lot size and it's in your zoning ordinance. So you already have that. And the board, not this board, some board put into place an ordinance whereby citizens could come in and ask for a waiver of that. And the moratorium I was asked to draw was specifically for a limited, for no requests or waivers granted for that ordinance, which is the $3 or $5 per residential lot for 6 months or until the staff brings you something back, whichever.
She can take that into consideration as you craft. The point is for the table to, give appropriate.
Yeah, this is just to stop.
Yeah.
This is to get some breathing room.
This is for, and it makes sense, and we gotta put something established. I just had, yesterday when I got up through my, package and I read it, first thing I did was called and said, it says chapter 32, section such and such. People aren't gonna know what that is, and I was instructed that that's gonna be referring to those who are in the breeding and boarding business, but it means to everybody.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
And it will give you guys an opportunity to address that if you feel like you're not right. Well, so the thing we're gonna do is give you consistency, give you more consistency. When you have people coming in down the road, if this one got 4 and there's a similar situation over here, you know that maybe we give them 4. Just, I think it's another tool you guys can use better.
The goal is to try to treat all the citizens the same as best you can, so.
This is just to give you time to put something together and bring it back. There's nothing in concrete.
Correct.
Oh, yeah, this doesn't change anything.
Let's just think about changing it.
Right, Nathan?
Yeah, because it's related to zoning, they will.
Mhm.
It's tied to your zoning ordinance.
Yeah.
Awesome. Do I have a, motion, please?
I make a motion to, issue the moratorium on, as I think I stated earlier, whatever date that was.
October something. Nice.
No, August
And
8th,
120 days is August.
August 8th,
180 is October.
In order to establish, guidelines.
I got a motion, got a second? Second. Got a second, all in favor? Any opposed? No one. Thank you.
thank you.
Number 10, acceptance of equipment donated from Meriwether County Water and Sewage Authority, John Deere, backup.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, Board of Commissioners, in the April 4th Meriwether County Water and Sewer Authority meeting, they surplus and donated to Meriwether County Board of Commissioners John Deere backhoe 310G DL 1480, serial number 3781. They surplus it out and was giving it to Meriwether County, and this is just acceptance of the equipment to put on our insurance.
Good. Do we need a motion to accept this?
Yes, sir.
I have a motion to accept this equipment from Water and Sewer Authority.
Make a motion to accept the John Deere backhoe from water and sewer.
We got a
Add
motion.
to our list.
Second. All in favor? Yes. Start digging them coal pipes.
Yep.
All right,
It's another
go right on from report from county administrator.
Yes, sir. Before getting to, things I've been involved with, I want to take a minute to, recognize Allison Stevens, who is, our new, county clerk. At the last meeting, we recognized some, outgoing and past staff, so I just thought, this might be a appropriate time to, recognize Allison.
Can't close the door.
Sorry.
Larry, can't close the door.
Can't close the door.
It's an open meeting.
Okay.
Hoping the floor was. There's noise out here, just asking them to quiet down.
Okay, Allison began work on 4/24/17 and started as the administrative assistant. She was appointed deputy clerk by the board of commissioners on January 10th, 2018. She became a certified Georgia clerk April 2021. She obtained an associate's of organizational leadership from Point University in December 21. She earned an associate's of business administration from Point University also in December 21. Received her Bachelor of Business from Columbus State University in December 23. Was a certified public manager, scholarship recipient, September 23, through the Carl Vincent Institute, which is a 7-month program that she will graduate from in May 24. And she is a current graduate student at Columbus State University, where she began classes in January 2024 for her Master of Public Administration government track. She considers her greatest accomplishment her family, and she wanted to state that she has a passion for what she does and would like to thank the board for appointing her and allowing her to serve Meriwether County Board in her new role as county clerk. So we very much appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Party's gonna be at 12. Yep.
Lunch.
Anything else?
Yes, sir. As for the, just updated things I've been involved in, we continue to work on some, HR issues to finalize those. Attended the mayor's meeting where I met the mayors of the different, cities and Blue attended with me. That was very good. Got kind of a brief rundown of their strengths and weaknesses as they saw them, and, got to meet everybody. Attended the insurance broker meeting, where, we consider the benefit package for our, employees each year. Of course, reached out to the commissioners, and, we talked and whatnot, about information, following up from the last meeting. Have worked on the fireworks, been involved with the pay scale, which John's been leading. Been talking as much as I could with Mr. Bill too about roads and bridges, getting up to speed on our needs and things there. Attended a public facilities meeting, reviewed our broadband map to make sure there weren't anything overlooked in the broadband map where they're bringing in fiber to make sure all our low internet areas will be served with fiber, I guess is the easiest way to say it. Have talked with citizens about their complaints. Blue brought to me a couple of letters of support for the hospital and health clinic, where they're applying some funds for patient transportation vans and security system. There's no obligation for funding from us. It's just verbal support. We have to sign off on those. Let me see, reach out to the commissioners too for any kind of meeting prep or questions for today's meeting. Put in place a director's calendar. We may shift to some time clock software at some point. That was just something where we can all get on the calendar and see when each other's meetings are and when we can access each other. That makes it a little easier for us to get together and we're all kind of running around like a beehive a lot of times. Also had looked into the code enforcement officer training to see what it would entail for them to possibly issue the citations to truck drivers legally accessing roads. Still working on that. Attended the Prevent Child Abuse Awareness hosted by Meriwether County DFACS at Hospital in Warm Springs. That was very informative, and they're going to forward me some of the online training. And then finally, I had brought up yesterday that the city of Manchester had reached out for help scraping the Campbell Heights Street. Wanting our workers to scrape it, and they would buy the gravel from us. I understand, we have a standing agreement where we kind of do things like that with the cities and whatnot. And I was just going to kind of bring that up now to see if anybody had any, informal comments. Not, we wouldn't be voting right now or anything, but.
So the city wants us to grade the road and they'll buy the gravel from us. It's for pay for any other service.
No, sir.
So we have labor grading, labor transporting back and forth, and fuel. And I would expect some of that.
Yes, sir.
We've had a kind of long-standing agreement with the cities, cities of a lot of locations since they will always say, hey, we're part of the county as well. We understand that. But what we would do is we would come in and we will do project for something small project. We can't take on something huge. But the agreement has been we would provide labor and equipment if they would pay for the materials that goes into the project. And that's just something we've had on the books for a long time. We usually try to come and let you guys know about it because we want you to know that we're helping the cities as well. And so that's just something we do as part of kind of being in there with it.
Shared services.
Well, it has to be, we can't drop what we're doing, run down there tomorrow and do it. It's gotta be within our schedule, and they have to pay for the materials. So whatever you guys want to do.
Material.
I would say it's, you know, with this.
Yeah.
I would, yes, drive.
Yeah.
Look at the bill, man.
Mhm.
No, it's just when we're in the area.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you guys don't want to do that policy, we can, that's fine. It's just something we've done.
They're drawing taxes to do those projects just like we are, and then they're not having to spend that money on them because they use us. They're doing it at half the cost, just the materials, we're not getting our road work done because we're doing it for them. I mean, I'm not saying, you know, charge them like contractors do us, but we ought to at least get reimbursed whatever it costs us to go do it. The fuel and then the daily labor rate for that individual. Yeah, I would, well, let them bid it out themselves like we do. Don't need to be under about it, but we don't have enough money to do what we need to do as it is. We can't be giving up our time and fuel costs to go down there when we've got citizens coming in here beating us down about their road condition. Pay for it if you want.
But on the flip side of that, no, those citizens in that municipality are also paying county taxes.
I think so. They pay six tax county.
They're paying city and county taxes. So, I mean,
Split the cost, man.
that's why in the past, it's always been where the county actually, is kind of a mutual aid, assistance where, cost that's involved, direct cost, whether it's gravel or, whatever, and help me out here, but
And no more often than they're asking, you know, if they pay for ground, pay for the fuel, and we provide the labor, but if it came, all of a sudden, the city calls us every week, we want this, we want that, and then we address it like you're saying there, I think.
Well, one thing we need to check.
We don't want to take advantage.
Right. One thing that, we need to check, Derek, take a look at this, is we need to check our service delivery strategy to see if it's mentioned in there, if there is a desire to change that policy. We have to change our service delivery strategy. So that's just something, I don't see cities come back saying, wait a minute, you're delivering for the city. We'll just need to double check that, but it hasn't been abused. I mean, we had one time, we wanted a lot of projects done, and we just said, we're not to get it. We can't do it, but if we can scrape that road for you when we were in that area, you know, you'll buy the gravel. We got it. So whatever you guys want to do, we just want y'all to know that it's a request coming up. We try to bring all the requests to you. That way, if we start getting requests every meeting from somebody, you guys don't know, wait a minute.
No, it's very appreciative, so we know what's going on. I don't want to be driving down the road and all of a sudden I'm going, well, what are we doing this over here? Nobody's brought it to our attention. We do need help out our fellow citizens, so. Anything else there?
No, we can, look into the service delivery strategy and, go from there.
And on the topic where you were talking about, code enforcement doing citations on no through truck, you are following up on that.
Yes, sir.
Senator Robertson, Randy yesterday told me there's some other counties that are doing that. And, I did speak to the sheriff because I think for us to do that, we have to have the sheriff agreement or sign off or blessings, however you want to word it. He's willing to do that. He said, as long as Nathan's involved and assures everything so we don't get technicalities and so forth, that he'd be glad to go along with that.
Good deal.
And one of the other things good about that for those who listen or whatever, if we do, this code enforcement officer will not be handcuffed, toting a gun, arresting anybody. He would just, if a tractor trailer's going down one of our no through trucks and roads and he sees them and pulls them over, most likely you want to give them a warning first just so they have respect. But we can start writing citations. They would go to our magistrate court and then those fines that are paid that would come directly to the county.
our trucks would have to have blue lights with them.
What's that?
Our trucks would have to have blue lights.
We're researching that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, whatever details he's get, and then it may only be one of them, not both of them. That's what you're working on now to get all the details, what the state requires. So we're not doing nothing wrong. But I think it's a good way to go forward because their staff is like ours. They're short on deputies, they got other things to worry about, but yet roads are being tore.
Sorry. Anytime y'all come across any other counties that are doing this too, if you don't mind letting me know, I'll reach out to them. since they've already been up approved.
But let's definitely find out the I's dotted, T's crossed, and whatever he can do legally for us, so we're not talking about it 6 months from now.
Oh, yes.
Thanks, sir.
And I'm sorry, there's two more things at the very end. The 2024 LMAG bid opening will be Friday at noon, April 12th. And it's time for us to start thinking about upcoming SPOS projects. Don't have to discuss anything today. Just put it on the bond. Everybody start brainstorming.
All right.
All right, that's all I have.
Luke?
Yes, sir. In your boxes, you have an invitation from the chamber for a casual connections. Just put that in your box for a chamber event. Attended a meeting with the Upper Flint Water Council. This is a regional water planning board that does several plans and maps, and our Backroads partners were actually there yesterday. So that was good to meet with them. DNR has purchased some additional land next to Spruill Wildlife Management Area, and they reached out to us to make sure that they had access from a county road into the new additional property. They do. We will be working with them and talking with them about how to improve the road to get access, because Brown Gilbert Road hadn't been used in a little bit. It's exciting that they've added to it, and it's good that we're talking about the Flat Shoals Bridge right now, because it's going to be these partnerships, I think, that help us get those boat and kayak launches. Also had meetings with the Water and Sewer Authority. We're starting to move into some more strategic discussions about long-range water planning, which is wonderful. Look forward to working with that chairman and that board as we continue with it. Had a couple of meetings with EPD, running down details on the 319. And then we have a meeting scheduled with Senator Ossoff's office this Thursday to talk about one of the projects that we proposed within his congressionally directed spending. They reached out to us about the Rural Health and Wellness Grant that we proposed with DFACS and Warm Springs Medical Center. Don't have many details on that yet because we haven't had the meeting, but they showed some interest in it. I do wish it was one of our higher priority projects like the replacement vehicles or the radio network, but if they see a need and want to fund it, then we at least want to have the conversation with them. And that's it for me. Actually, I take that back. Allison has one thing that she wants to
Thank the board. Last year, you guys approved for staff to purchase a agenda management system. And it has been a wonderful tool that we went live with actually for this agenda. So it was very helpful to me. Makes it more efficient. So I just want to thank the board for that. So, and I had a lot of help from IT with me.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes.
Just give us a brief update.
Oh, please do.
As I said earlier, we're doing the RFP for patching, hopefully get that in the maybe for advertisement next week in the paper. Jared's already mentioned about the big bids coming in. We have a mandatory pre-bid meeting today on the courthouse roof to look to contractors, look at that. Been working on a reduced scope of work for the election office space. You remember this came back and was pretty high. We tried to reduce what we're trying to do there to reduce that cost. We have completed, with the exception of just a few typos, a T-SPLOST intergovernmental agreement is done. So we'll need to start scheduling some of those meetings with the cities. We need to develop a plan for our T-SPLOST presentations. We need to start discussing recreation. As soon as we finish T-SPLOST, I'd like to sit down and start getting some things discussed with the cities on recreation. And I think that's what we got working on right now. Thank y'all. Appreciate it.
All right. Report from the county commissioners, Mr. Doss.
I'd just like to thank staff and all the employees and Mayweather Advisory Board. We had a meeting last night. We discussed about the picnic tables. Ronnie Bird came in, made all 6 picnic tables. My hip was staying on it. We got those put out, and then we're gonna do some boat ramp repairs at the boat ramp, and then we also discussed about raising the rate on the pavilion from $35 to $50. And so we'll try to put that on the agenda next commission meeting and vote on that. And that's all I have.
A couple of things, and all. I did attend the opioid ACCG meeting that was held down in Harris County on March the 27th, and it was basically an election of officers for this particular settlement to move forward. And with that being said, the officers basically would be working in a smaller group to come up with a statewide level how to move this lawsuit forward. The other thing is to keep Meriwether beautiful is scheduled for April the 27th. And as always, this is it's almost kind of like a double-edged sword. It is well used. And with that being said, I hope people will take advantage of it and put take the tires out to Public Works, a minimum of 12, and there's a certain period of time for that. And then with the roll-offs in the different communities or whatever, abide by the signs so that we don't fill up the dumpsters so early on with old mattresses and old furniture and all. And I believe it's usually put to the side. But I just want to thank Miss Jane and Belinda for all of their hard work for this event, as well as Public Works. And we really can't do it without the Public Works support. And I know it's a lot of extra work. And if you'd like to volunteer either to pick up in teams or to actually help man one of the sites or whatever, all help is greatly appreciated. Again, that's April the 27th. And it's always a big push in the spring as well as the fall. And it's usually tied in with the Cotton Fair over in Gay because of the number of visitors we'll have here in the county. But there again, litter is a huge issue for our county, unfortunately. So with that, that's all for me.
Word.
Nothing to add other than thank everyone for what they're doing. It's a lot of activity, a lot of items on the agenda. All of them were completed today, so there's a lot of good progress, a lot of good work. Just thank everybody. I know it's hard. It's a lot of progress being made. Thank you.
Same thing as the rest of them. I always thank the staff and what they're doing. We appreciate it. I was going to say the same thing you said. Today was a good meeting. It was like fast and getting things done. And that's a great way to be going forward. I said it last time, don't forget June 22nd over at the Gay Fairgrounds. We got all the music festival. Go online and buy tickets, and it's going to be a huge event. And like looking forward to Meriwether cleaning up. So other than that, I'm good. And we have any reason for executive session today, litigation, personnel, real estate, or tax matters?
Oh, we do. Did you have anything to report?
I have nothing to report, Mr. Chairman.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I saw. I passed that. Sorry.
I'm easily up.
We do have 4 items for executive session. Yes.
Covering under what topics?
Let me see. We've got personnel and litigation.
Right here it says future meetings and notices, and I do not know the dates, so they're coming up next month.
That's my fault.
That's
It's a new system, but I'll get that corrected and have those for you.
Yeah. And if there's nothing else at this time, then we'll have a motion to go into executive session. I'll move. You got a motion, a second?
Second.
All in favor? We're in executive session at 10:43. Second.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? We're now back in regular session.
Thank God.
That's 4. Only action on the second executive session, there was a motion to approve pay increase as discussed in executive session. Nothing else was taken today. Is there anything further to discuss?
Need to vote on.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Represented.
Got a motion, got a second, all in favor? All right, and now is there anything else that needs to be brought up or be overlooked? Is everybody through?
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Motion, got a second?
Second.
Motion second, we adjourn. We are now adjourned at 11:24.